The following program is a public access production of Andrea Fusco, who assumes full responsibility for its content. The content of this program does not represent the views of Auburn Regional Media Access, which serves as a forum for community expression and offers TV training, production facilities, and channel time to all Auburn area residents and organizations.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to First Person with Andrea Fusco. Today we have a very special guest with us, Jim Hanley, original committee member for the very well-known Great Race, which is coming up on its 48th year. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Jim, and we're so happy to hear some updates about this very well-known tradition in Auburn that is so far-reaching.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here. It's been 48 years. We started this thing in 1978, but it really started in 1977 when 4 people from Auburn went down to a town in Massachusetts, and they participated in a thing called the Josh Billings Runaround. And we were more than familiar with running races, but we'd never encountered a multi-event race before. And so when they came back, they were all excited. And Al Hastings was the athletic director at the Y at the time. He knew I'd grown up on the lake, and he asked me to be a part of it. And we had a total of 8 members. And we had our first meeting and tried to figure out what to do, how to do it. We knew it had to happen somewhere near the lake because of the canoe component. And so we settled on the fact that it would be a 5-mile race, running race, and then we'll come back in the exchange. It's kind of exciting when the runners come in, pass off the baton to the biker, and that was a 20-mile bike. And when they came back, the canoers went out. And the only thing that's been consistent over the whole 48 years is the canoe course. That hasn't changed, except when we changed over to a shorter race, we have 2 options. And it just sort of took off. The first year, we didn't know what to expect. Right. We didn't know what to give out for food. We didn't know how to do shirts. We had to do a lot of guesswork. And at the beginning of the week of the race, we had 60 teams. And we said, well, we'll go with it. And on race day, we had 120.
Wow.
And we had a lot of support from the citizen. And then, as now, our volunteers are the ones that really make it happen, because we have to have people on the roads stopping cars, watching for bikes, and that sort of thing. And then there's people who would make sandwiches, help stuff packets, and it's just become a community effort type of thing. So
it has to run kind of like a well-oiled machine, and you've got that down.
We do. Certain things happen at certain times of the year. We have a to-do list, and we know where we should be at any point in time. And usually there's people involved in each part of the race, such as somebody's in charge of the run course, the bike course, and the canoe course. And when we started, we had no idea what to do with it. This race that we got our idea from was called the Josh Billings Runaround, and he was a local celebrity down there in history. So we said, we'll have to find someone that we can use for this. And so we actually literally walked around Fort Hill Cemetery and found Captain Myles Keogh's grave, and found out his history was that back in the day, Enos Troop was governor of New York State, and he had a home up on Owasco Lake. And he had a daughter who fell in love with Captain Myles Keogh. Now, Captain Myles Keogh was also a paid warrior, and he went out and fought with Custer. Now, we know what happened to everybody out there. Everybody died except his horse, Comanche. But he was buried out there, and evidently Troop's daughter pined so much they went out and had him exhumed and brought here. And so it's Captain Myles Keogh Paddle, Wheel, and Run is the formal name of the race.
The original.
But at one of the meetings, we said, well, that's a mouthful. So at the time of the movie, The Great Race with Tony Curtis was playing, and we said, how about that? And so that's where The Great Race came from.
Oh, that's fabulous. I wonder how many people really know that. What a great piece of trivia.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Did you ever have any idea it would evolve into what it's evolved into today?
No, we went from year to year, and we learned as we went. At the first, there wasn't any of these electronics like we have with stopwatches and double pads and people backing each other up on the finish lines. And then we had people coordinating things the old-fashioned way. And then they invented these chips. And so now 2 of the people on the team wear the chips. And when you go over a pad, that sets your time. So that saved a lot of things, and we have a program. So we had the original race for until 1995, and we did switch to a measured 10K along the way because people wanted to keep track of their times. Right. And so when we noticed our numbers dropping off a little bit, we said, well, why not do a half a race? And because of the computer programs, we could run them concurrently, and so long and short, and our numbers went up. And things went well. If once somebody comes to this thing, they're more than excited. But after, and they would even tell their relatives, look, don't get married on this weekend because it's a great race weekend.
Save the date.
But now we've been around long enough that people have participated and aged out and whatnot. So if they know that if they don't come this year, we're coming back next year. And we are thrilled to know that even though our numbers of participation are down, that we are still thought of as one of the premier summer events for the community. And that's nice. And so we're happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. And this is kind of a homecoming weekend for
it is.
For
many
Auburn.
people tie their school reunions around Great Race Weekend, and it's really pleasurable to look around the island and see groups of people speaking and families and kids, and you see kids that are 5 and 6 years old, and then 10 years later they're participating. My boys would help put T-shirts together and help make the sandwiches, and then they started in the race, and when they finished the race they come in and still help hand out sandwiches and things of that nature. So it's been a family affair and a community affair for us.
And to what do you attribute its success, its great success?
I think people know what they're going to get when they come there. We've been very fortunate with weather. It's a beautiful setting, and they've kept up the park so well.
Yeah.
And people who come here just look around. They say, "You actually live here with the walking trails," and if you look out over there, people come and watch from the boats, and it's just quite a setting. So I think people point toward this, and it does happen toward the end of summer. So kids know college is coming, school is coming, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice way to say farewell to summer.
Yeah, it's kind of a last gasp and a big party.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
How would you classify some of the changes that have occurred throughout the years?
Well,
as far as courses
technology is big because we had there was no phones on the island and very little electricity. There's still very little electricity, so we used generators for the bands and things because we would blow circuits right and left. And when cell phones first came out, because if you wanted to communicate with somebody, you had to run and find them. And so over the years, and then if you had to lug something, you had to drive a truck or something. So we ended up getting golf carts and those utility vehicles so we could carry things and tear things down easier. That was a godsend. Our sound system originally was bullhorns, and these people, the fellow was old when he started, and when he quit, he was even older yet. But they would put 47 of these horns around so you could hear all over. And then when he was going to do it no longer, I happened to be at the Father's Day car show, and I said, the sound is just great. And I went over to the booth, and I introduced myself, and now we use that sound system, which is just beautiful. Yeah. And you can hear... and he has background music, so it's, you ever been in a restaurant when it's very quiet? It's not nice.
Yeah.
But now, when people are walking around, you got music very low in the background, which doesn't interfere with your talking and what we want to accomplish. And so those are major changes that made it easier on us. And then, of course, the computer programs become more complicated but easier. And we have Kevin Kelly as our computer guy, and he's just outstanding.
I can imagine that's a key part right
now. Very much so.
Because I can remember as a reporter for the Citizen running around with a notebook and taking notes and finding people.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's so different now. All right, so for people who would like to volunteer their services for the Great Race, how would they go about that?
Well, they can go to our website and they can leave a note, or they can call 315-252-7139. And if no one answers, you can leave a message, and the appropriate person will call back. We need volunteers for the run course, the bike course, stuffing the packets the night before the race, and we welcome anybody that wants to try.
Excellent. Let's hope you get a great response, which I'm sure you will. Now, another thing about sponsorships, what is the situation
Well,
there?
we have levels of sponsorship. We have gold, silver, and bronze, and each one has its benefits. And we always welcome sponsors, because without them, we really couldn't have a race, because we couldn't charge the participants and still have a race. So we need their monies to provide the extra things in the race. And our sponsors are just so important to us. And if you want a sponsor, you can contact us the same way through the website or the phone number. And we're most gratified when you do. If you're a business person in Auburn, you're approached very often. But we have various levels, and it is affordable one way or the other.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the information. What can people do? What do they need to do in order to participate? Because we want to get, the attendance up, so
Right.
maybe people aren't sure how to
Well,
proceed.
one, they need to know that we're still around. We start putting
Very
signs
important.
around now, because more rumors start that, well, we guess there's not going to be a race this year.
Oh.
Well, certainly there is. Each year it starts, but there certainly is. And we have a website, great-race.com. And you can enroll online. You can download a physical app if you want and mail it in. We're setting our pricing structure now, so I'm not sure what it is at this point.
Okay.
We do know that you get a pretty big bang for your buck, because you get a t-shirt, the possibility of winning an award. We've changed to like bagels and fruit and things of that nature. And it's an all-day affair. We have music. There's always been a band up there. And now we use food trucks. There's another change. Instead of volunteer organizations, the Y Swim Team, for a number of years, came out and they had parents doing it, and they could raise money, and they had a booth for the hot dogs, hamburgers, salt potatoes. But then, like any organization, a few people are doing all the work, and they had to fall by the wayside. Right. So we have various restaurants in between, and then finally, with the advent of the food trucks, that works out very well for us.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a great step forward. I mean, everybody loves food trucks and the
Absolutely.
variety, and they're kind of, an easy handle.
Yeah, it takes something off our plate, so that's kind of a good thing.
Absolutely. And you're, in a couple of years, you'll be coming up on the 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
How
we never saw
significant
that
is
coming.
that?
Yeah, we went kind of from year to year, and then when COVID hit, that kind of dropped.
Yeah.
And so we're on a kind of a mission to increase our numbers by, the old-fashioned way was when people went to races, we had them paper cars. They bring little sheets of paper with a date and name on it and everything. And that's how we grew. And then once somebody came, friends of friends would come. And as I said, most races are down a little bit, and I'm not sure why. I have been in contact with people at Josh Billings, and they've had a little jog in their participation as well. The other thing that has changed is we used to just have canoes. Now we allow kayaks.
Oh, okay.
And
So
one
broadened
or
it a
two
little
person
bit.
kayaks. And then we also use, they can use paddle boards. We don't get that many, but you can
But you
as
can.
a third person.
Okay.
And we also included, I think we started 1 or 2 years ago, the Ironman. We used to be had a multi-team, but we finally came, because we wanted to be purely a team triathlon,
Right.
but we wanted to get our numbers up. So we're accepting, people can do the whole race by themselves.
Oh, so they can go solo. Okay.
And they do rather well. But the idea we like to get across is this is not for elite athletes. We started this whole thing for the average guy to maybe set a goal to do the 10K. And that's quite an achievement for most people. And even now doing the 5K is an achievement just to finish. So when you come down the finish line, these people feel like $1 million because people are cheering for them and everything.
Yeah, they have all the
And you're
support.
getting young kids. We've had teams 10, 11, 12 years old. And when that occurs, usually their parents are on a team and they participate right nearby them, so for safety's sake. And so the younger people are the lifeblood of the race in the future, but it doesn't mean that somebody who is older can't all of a sudden start. I have a brother-in-law who used to smoke, and he wasn't very athletic, and he quit smoking, and he started canoeing, and he started walking a lot, and now he's in great shape, and he participates in this, but he also participates in other canoe areas. But what I'm saying is, people can change their lifestyle a little bit, and if you're going to do a 5K or a 10K, you got to start now. If you're starting from a dead stop, you've got to start now running a little bit to get used to it. And it doesn't matter how fast you go. It does not. And that's the thing that has never changed in the whole time we've been doing this. We're going to get athletes that can really fly, especially canoeists. 4 miles for a canoer is like a warm-up.
Yeah.
They just fly. But your average person, canoeing is a tough thing to do. And I wondered myself, I said, where are they going to get all these canoes? Turns out it was never an issue.
People had them.
They'd find them, they'd get them. And on race day, you might have biker runners and some canoers up there saying, if anybody needs one, we're here. And sometimes we can match them up, and it makes a good thing.
Oh, that's good. So people don't need to hesitate because of that or because of not being a super athlete. You can train, you can have fun, you can get healthier, all these benefits that, could cost a lot of money.
Really. And it gives them it makes them, maybe during the week, they sit down and they say, well, I better put in my miles so I can be ready for the race. You want to at least be able to finish it. And people do. People do. And that makes us real happy.
Oh, sure, because about now you start seeing people biking along the lake road or running or...
That's one thing about our community. I'd like to say people don't run or bike or do things as much as they used to, but in this community, there's people running. We have a great track team up at the high school. There's people biking. There's always some canoes and kayaks out on the water. So people are being active. It's just a matter of taking the time to get a team together because... life has changed. Life's gotten busier over this time. There's so many more options that people can do, and people travel more. So it's nice to be a part of their lives, and when they take time to participate or come watch, that's all we can ask.
So still some of the basic ingredients remain the same. The teamwork, the family, the friends, the reunion.
All that is just vital. And again, we can't say enough about volunteers because without them, it wouldn't be able to work, because you can't have policemen at every intersection or wherever there are people running and cars going. And then there's all these regulations. We have to file permits for everything so that the state is satisfied, Department of Transportation and regatta permits and that sort of thing. And we know when to file them and when we're doing them each year. Again, that's done automatically. We have to reserve the showmobile, and that's done pretty much right after this race. We'll reserve it for next year so it doesn't get...
Never too early.
No.
For anything. Have more permits and, things to put in place become more frequent.
It got a little more confusing.
Red tape.
But now with the Department of Transportation, they used to be difficult, but now we understand how to fill out the forms correctly. We have a contact that works with us. And I mean, they don't want to shut us down. They're happy to help us. They just want to make sure that rules are followed, and it works out each year.
Right.
For us.
So they're supportive, just making sure that everything's safe and in place.
Yeah, and we couldn't do it without the cooperation of the police, sheriff, and troopers as well. That's changed over the years because you used to get volunteers sometimes, and now every situation they've got budget requirements and things.
Budget's an issue.
But the main thing we want to have is a safe race. We have 2 ambulances or 3 scattered throughout the course, and we have a medical tent right on site with a triage. So if something happens, the most common one is heat effects. But people have fallen off bikes and this and that, and if they need to be transported, they can. But we have a medical staff right there
on site
during the race.
Well, that sounds very key. What would you say for right now are some of the most important aspects of the Great Race with its 48th anniversary coming up?
Well,
what should people know?
Well, fortunately, 2 sponsors play a very big part in our budget because we need the extra money for permits. Insurance has become very big. We used to be attached to the Y or the Arthritis Foundation. Now we pay for it. And for one day, it is mind-blowing what you have to pay. So that's,
Sure.
well, I say 3 days, from Friday to Sunday night. The coverage is whole, but then you have to be aware of liquor liability if someone gets hurt. And so that has changed and become more expensive from our standpoint. As I said, the sandwiches have fallen by the wayside for cost and the manpower to make them.
Sure.
So we're trying to, we're a good value for the race because we were giving sandwiches and T-shirts and the artwork was outstanding, and the band, and there was always you can bring in your own food if you want to. It's not, you're not limited not to. You sure can.
Oh, you can if you want to.
Yep.
Okay.
And you see the kids running around. There's a little playground up there. It really is when the day is sunshine and people are just talking in groups and renewing friendships. It's a good feeling.
Oh, absolutely. And it's something everybody, I think, strives for. It seems like, particularly after COVID, that people longed for kind of simpler times. And
yes, absolutely. We see the same people, or people will come up to me, and especially if they've seen it for the first time each year, a couple of people who've never done it, and it blows them away how the day goes. And it's the changeover zone is kind of exciting when people are running in and they're taking off, and it's just a neat feeling. And I don't know where 48 years went, but it did.
never thought you'd get there,
No.
but here you are,
and here
which
we
is
are.
amazing.
And it's fortunate that, as I said, the new members are carrying on very well. They're trying to keep things moving and follow the lead that we've had, and keep the up with the regulations we need to, and that sort of thing. And it's decisions aren't made easily. Not everybody always agrees, but we hash it out and we come up with a solution.
So you come up with a consensus.
And away it goes.
Yeah, which is key, and that's what committee work is all about. And I'm
Right.
sure that's one of the elements of success of the Great Race, is people being able to communicate and agree and come up with common solutions.
It is, and these younger people, which is good that they keep in contact with text when things come up. There's subcommittees too that they can research things, and then they can bring it back to the main committee and say, here's your choices, here's the best route we feel, and then we can vote on it. But anyone that's on the committee is a working member. As you know, many committees might have 20, 30 members, but it's always 10 that do all the work.
Yeah, heavy lifting.
Well, this committee, pretty much everyone that's on it has a job and a function.
Which is key,
Yes.
again, and then you need kind of the background for support
Yes,
and whatever else.
absolutely.
What else would you say, just to wrap things up a little bit, that people need to be aware of for this year's race?
Well, there's going to be a couple of changes on the run
Okay.
course. We don't know what that is yet. But as I said, if you've not done it before and you look at it as something that, I could never do that, yes, you can. And we also have a fun run for the little people, which is nice. And that goes off right after the runners take off. But I can't emphasize enough that we want the everyday person just to start working out for their own good. And so they might do something regular rest of their life. It could add, years to their life just by walking or running a little bit. And they feel a part of something. I mean, the T-shirt is kind of coveted. I take them for granted because I've always been around them. But people really like them, and they like to wear them. And to have earned it by participating, I think, is a mark that they like to shoot for.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate souvenir.
Yeah.
I got a T-shirt.
Exactly.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
And we look forward to the 48th Great Race on August 9th, and wish you all the luck, and everybody out there, get going and participate.
Wonderful. And again, the website is great-race.com. And then we do have a phone number that will be operative on July 1st. And we have someone in the office to answer questions, a real person, not AI.
Perfect. So it's that's good, because
Yes.
everybody wants a real person.
Exactly.
Well, again, thank you so much, and we hope the Great Race keeps going for many years to come.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so this has been First Person with Andrea Fusco, honored guest Jim Hanley. And we hope that all you participants, sponsors, and volunteers out there will lend your support to this year's 48th Annual Great Race on August 9th. Thanks very much for joining us. See you next time.